Jesus was walking in Galilee, for he was not willing to walk in Judea, because the Jews were seeking to kill him. Now the feast day of the Jews, the Feast of Tabernacles, was near. But after his brothers went up, then he also went up to the feast day, not openly, but as if in secret. Therefore some of those from Jerusalem said, "Is he not the one whom they are seeking to kill? And behold, he is speaking openly, and they say nothing to him. Could the leaders have decided that it is true this one is the Christ? But we know him and where he is from, and when the Christ has arrived, no one will know where he is from." Therefore Jesus cried out in the temple, teaching and saying, "You know me, and you also know where I am from, and I have not arrived of myself, but he who sent me is true, and him you do not know. I know him, for I am from him, and he has sent me." Therefore they were seeking to apprehend him, and yet no one laid hands on him, because his hour had not yet come. St. Augustine says, "It is not meant that our Lord could not walk among the Jews and escape being killed, for he had this power whenever he chose to show it, but he set the example of so doing as an accommodation to our weakness. He had not lost his power, but he indulged our frailty." St. John Chrysostom adds, that is to say, he displayed the attribute both of divinity and humanity. He fled from his persecutors as man, he remained and appeared amongst them as God, being really both. St. Augustine says, "It was said above that our Lord went up to the feast secretly, not because he feared being taken, for he had power to prevent it, but to show figuratively that even in the very feast which the Jews celebrated, he was hid, and that it was his mystery. Now, however, the power appears, which was thought timidity. He spoke publicly at the feast, insomuch that the multitude marveled. They said, some of them at Jerusalem, 'Is not this he whom they seek to kill? But lo, he speaks boldly, and they say nothing to him.' They knew the fierceness with which he had been sought for. They marveled at the power by which he was not taken." So, not fully understanding Christ's power, they supposed that it was owing to the knowledge of the rulers that he was spared. Do the rulers know, indeed, that this is the very Christ? And to show how they could get to know him who had sent him, he adds, "I know him, so if you want to know him, inquire of me. No one knows the Father save the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal him. And if I should say I know him not, I should be a liar like you." St. John Chrysostom adds, "Which is impossible, for he that sent me is true, and therefore he that is sent must be true likewise." If you would like more commentaries like these, go to journeywiththefathers.com.